The first day at Alienacademy was supposed to be historic, the first human ever allowed to study among alien races from over 100 systems. But for 16-year-old Eli Carter, it felt more like an execution. He stood in the center of the amphitheater classroom, clutching the strap of his uniform bag, while dozens of alien eyes, some glowing, some faceted, some with horizontal slits, stared back. Whispers rippled through the crowd like static. "Is that it?" one voice buzzed. "Soft, fragile like wet paper. Humans can't even breathe half our atmospheres. How pathetic." Eli swallowed hard. The translator implant in his neck caught every insult in perfect clarity. Professor Relka, a thin being with translucent skin and silver veins pulsing beneath it, spoke with a calm tone. "Class, this is Eli Carter of Terra. Treat him with the respect due to an interspecies exchange student." That did nothing to stop the laughter. Eli forced a nod, pretending not to hear the snickers. The air smelled faintly metallic, too much oxygen for alien lungs, too little nitrogen for human comfort. He took shallow breaths. "Your seat is in row 5, Relka said. As Eli made his way up the stairs, a creature with lavender scales and ridged horns stuck a leg out. He stumbled, scattering his digital texts across the floor. The laughter grew louder. "Careful, Earth boy. Gravity's lighter here. Try not to fall into orbit," someone jeered. He gathered his things in silence. No one offered to help. No one except one. A soft hand reached out. Long fingers, skin faintly iridescent, eyes wide and deep as water. "Here," she said quietly. "You dropped this." Eli froze. The girl's voice was calm, melodic, and kind, a rarity in the room. "Thanks," he muttered, meeting her gaze. Her eyes shimmered with layered colors, shifting from blue to violet to silver as her pupils contracted. "I'm Lyara," she said. "Don't mind them. They're just scared of what's different." Different. He'd been called worse. Middle. Days turned into weeks, and the novelty of the human boy didn't fade. Eli learned to sit in the corner of the cafeteria, eating nutrient packs the academy provided because their food was toxic to him. He avoided eye contact in corridors. He pretended the jokes didn't sting. But Lyara, she kept showing up. She'd slide her tray beside his, ignoring the stares from her peers. "So, what do humans do for fun?" she asked once, genuine curiosity in her tone. "Fun." Eli laughed weakly. "Mostly we talk. Watch things. Sometimes just look at the stars." Lyara tilted her head. "We don't have time for that. My people, the Zevran, are trained for service, not leisure. Looking at stars is inefficient." "Then maybe you're missing out," he said with a grin. That made her laugh softly, a sound like wind chimes. Over time, she began to open up. Her people, the Zevran, were a proud warrior species, disciplined, emotionally reserved, and fiercely hierarchical. Showing empathy was seen as weakness. That's why Lyara's kindness toward Eli didn't go unnoticed. Whispers followed her now. 2. "Why do you sit with that thing? Are you fascinated by it? Careful, Lyara. You'll ruin your standing." But she never stopped. In the lab one afternoon, when a group of Zevran males deliberately sabotaged Eli's experiment, altering the gravity calibration so his sample imploded, Lyara stood up before the instructor could even react. "That was deliberate," she said sharply, her voice cold and commanding. "You dishonor this class." The Zevran male sneered. "You defend a human?" Eli froze. The room went silent. Lyara's body stiffened, her scales along the neckline glowing faintly, a Zevran display of warning. "Yes," she said, "because he deserves respect." Professor Relka turned, his silver-veined hands clasped. "Enough." Any student who interferes with another's work will face disciplinary action. The bullies grumbled, but backed down. Eli stared at her afterward, stunned. You didn't have to do that, he said quietly. Yes, I did, she replied. No one should stand alone. That night, Eli couldn't sleep. He wandered the Academy's garden dome, a transparent sphere filled with alien flora glowing softly under the light of twin moons. Lyara found him there. You always come here when you can't rest, she said, stepping beside him. Yeah, he admitted. It reminds me of Earth. Not exactly, but close enough. She looked out at the blue-lit plants. Your world. It's the one that resisted the Dominion War, right? Eli nodded. Yeah. We didn't win. But we didn't surrender either. Lyara turned to him, her gaze thoughtful. My people fought in that war. Against yours. He blinked. I know. There was a long silence. Then she said, My mother commanded a fleet. She destroyed human colonies. I was a child, but I remember her pride. Eli felt a cold weight in his stomach. And now you sit next to me in class. She looked down. I wanted to see if what she said about your kind is true. And Lyara met his eyes. She was wrong. Their hands brushed, accidental, but neither pulled away. Middle continued. As the semester went on, tensions rose. The Academy had never integrated humans before, and whispers of Earth's growing defiance worried many alien races. When someone leaked a forged report claiming Eli was a spy sent to steal Zevran technology, everything changed overnight. His quarters were searched. His datapad was confiscated. Lyara confronted the administration. You have no proof. Relka sighed. You overstep, cadet. The council demands investigation. Humanity's history makes this delicate. Lyara's eyes burned. You're punishing him for being human. Relka looked away. For being different. Eli was confined to his quarters, a small, sterile room with a single viewport looking out at the Academy's silver spires. That night, as guards patrolled outside, a soft tapping came from his vent shaft. Eli? He blinked. Lyara? Her face appeared in the narrow gap, smiling faintly. You humans really need better security. Are you insane? If they catch you, I don't care. She slipped through with agile grace, her scales catching the light. You don't deserve this. She held up a small holoslate. I found something. The report's metadata. It was created on campus. Eli frowned. Someone set me up. Yes. And I know who. She hesitated, lowering her voice. Commander Vecker. He hates humans. Thinks your species is dangerous. Eli clenched his fists. So what do we do? Lyara looked at him, really looked. We prove them wrong. Climax. The next day, the Academy hosted the annual Unity demonstration, a public event where each species showcased a scientific or cultural achievement. Eli had been banned from presenting, but Lyara had other plans. She approached the podium with calm confidence, the crowd murmuring. Today, she said, I present not my work alone, but a collaboration. The audience shifted uneasily as Eli stepped out beside her. The murmurs grew into disbelief. He's not allowed. This is blasphemy. Silence, she commanded. Watch. They activated the holo display. A glowing projection of intertwined molecules spun between them. This, Lyara explained, is a hybrid bioshield designed by Eli and myself. It fuses human cellular adaptation with Zevran energy resonance. Together, it can neutralize radiation from any star system, protecting explorers of all races. The crowd fell silent. The demonstration lit the amphitheater with blue light, rippling like liquid glass. It works, she said softly. Because we worked together. Relka stood, astonished. This could save entire colonies. Commander Vecker, however, rose from his seat with fury. This is manipulation. The human. Lyara stepped forward. No, Commander. This is proof. Proof that humanity doesn't destroy, it creates. Eli met Vecker's gaze. You can keep fearing us, or you can learn from us. Your choice. Vecker snarled but couldn't argue. The bioshields readings spoke for themselves. Perfect resonance. Undeniable results. Applause broke out slowly, first from one Zevran student, then another. Soon the hall erupted with sound. For the first time since arriving, Eli wasn't being laughed at. He was being seen. Ending. The council lifted the investigation. Eli was reinstated as a full student, and their joint research was filed for interstellar patent consideration. But the real victory wasn't in the paperwork. It was the quiet moment afterward, when Lyara and Eli stood in the garden dome again, watching the moons rise. I still can't believe you did that, he said, smiling. You stood against your own people. Lyara shrugged lightly. Maybe it's time someone did. He looked at her, the glow of bioluminescent plants reflecting in her silver eyes. Why? He asked softly. Why go so far for me? She hesitated, then reached out, her hand trembling slightly as it touched his. Because when everyone else saw a threat, you looked back at me like I was someone worth trusting. Eli smiled faintly. You are. Her expression softened. Do all humans speak like that? Only the honest ones, he said. A pause. Then she leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. Then I'm glad you're human. For a moment, they stood there in silence, two beings from opposite sides of the stars, connected not by blood or world, but by understanding. Outside the dome, the night sky stretched endlessly. Billions of stars, each one holding the possibility of another meeting like theirs. And somewhere in that infinite silence, a new story began, one that no war, no prejudice, and no distance could erase. Because for the first time in history, a human and an alien had chosen to stand together.